Hi, this is Robbie from Southern California. Now, you know I did the video on where we can get these totes for $5 at Dollar Tree, how to make holes in them so we'll have drainage to use this as a raised bed, and as well how to fill it to keep the price down. And we're making live soil. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what we can do with the lid to protect our plants. And this is all like for next to nothing and so easy. So yes, you're going to see this speeded up just a little bit. Let me tell you something. The whole thing from start to finish was less than 15 minutes. Now, I'm using a skinny little serrated knife. It's called a vegetable knife, and it seems to work really well on the plastic. You make a hole, you push it in, and you go all the way around. But once you make a hole in the lid, you can slip in a scissors and cut it all the way around too. So whatever way will work to get the center out of the lid. Put it out in the sun for about an hour and you'll be able to cut it much easier. Now here I'm cutting strips. Oh, they're about 1 inch to 1.5 inches wide, the strips, and I'm going to cut as many as I can, and we'll go from there on how I'm going to make it. There's no set way to do this. The way I'm going to do it here, you could tweak it and do it a little different, and sometimes I change it up because I'm going to make the top with that, and this is going to hold up well. You'll see in a minute. Now you line them up straight, and I put 3 staples in there. 3 has worked for me, and that's all you need. 1, 2, 3. It's so easy. And then I take a little pliers and I pinch them down so this way you won't scratch yourself in case the staple didn't go in that well. It's this easy. I just love it. Now go ahead and do all 3, and now you're going to staple it onto the sides of the lid that you cut open. Now you could do it any other way besides the way you're seeing it here. Like I said, I've done it multiple ways. I've got another video where you can watch me doing it at a different angle because I did it in the house on a kitchen island, and it was much easier to see. This was just done on my deck, 1, 2, 3 to get it done so I can get this lid on so I can get my plants planted. Because with the lid, it protects your seedlings. A bird can come by and eat your seedlings. Something could fly in there, insects, and eat your plants. This hood is terrific. Now, notice what I did. I stapled on 2 strips on either side on the long side. And then I took another one and made it a little bit longer because I had an extra strip. What did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strips I ended up with. And then I went across. You can put it underneath. You can put it on the top to hold those 2 strips up, whatever works for you. Now, I didn't think when I did this, I usually make it a little different so I can slide the strips underneath, and I forgot on this, and it's too hard to staple together 3 pieces of plastic. So I'm going to make an extra piece here and just staple it on. See how you can fix your little mistakes as you're going, and that will hold it in place because this is there to hold the tool up that we're going to put on here. Now, if you wanted to, you don't have to put tool on. You could just put it on like this. Now, why would you want to put this on? This creates a sunshade for young plants. So as the sun is moving, it gets sun and shade, and really a lot of young plants appreciate that. And let me just add in one thing. If I didn't use tool, I wouldn't have a garden. It has been a true lifesaver for me. But today we're going to go ahead and put the tool on. Now, if you want, it's so cheap. I've got the link underneath. I buy mine on eBay, and I did get a hold of the company, and I had them keep the price down. So it's like $9. Go double check it. 54 inches wide, 40 yards long. You can't beat the price anywhere. It is fantastic. And they're really fairly quick on shipping. I've been really happy with them. They have other colors besides the turquoise. The turquoise is one of the cheapest colors because color doesn't matter for the garden, but that's up to you. You can pick whatever color you want. I've been buying from them. I love their product. It lasts for a good year, if not longer. So take care of your tool, and you can wrap it up at the end of garden season and reuse it again. Now here I'm just going to do it kind of singly, but you could put it on double or triple if you're trying to create shade. If you're in a really hot sunny area, it works really good that way. Now what we're going to do here is, yes, you could clip it on with paper binders, like paper clips that you buy at the Dollar Tree and different stores, but I'm going to staple it on. This way the wind will not blow it off. It's going to protect my plants and stay in place. When I don't want the hood on, it's real simple. You just lift it up and take the hood off. But when you're growing young plants, birds and different animals get in there and can get your seeds. This way it's well protected. Nothing's going to get to it. Nothing can get in there. Now, you of course will want to uncover it if you're growing cucumbers or watermelon or squash because it's going to get big. But by then the plant is strong and can defend itself pretty much. Now, if you were doing lettuce in there or something that you don't have to have pollinated and it doesn't get too big, you could just keep it covered. If you were doing radishes, lettuce, cilantro, anything like that, parsley, you don't want any insects on there, walking onions, regular onions, just keep it covered. And you won't have any insects getting in there because this is going to keep out all those little pests that get our vegetables sometimes. It also has worked very well for keeping rodents out for me because they don't like the tool. The feel of it gets stuck in their little nails. They think it's a trap. Birds stay away from it. They cannot get hurt with this like they can with bird netting. Bird netting is very deadly to birds. This is not at all. They land on it, they sit, they look into it, but they can't get into it. So it works fantastic. Now I could have trimmed off the extra tool. Instead I rolled it. Notice I rolled and stapled it on the outside because remember, we want it to snap on. So we've got to keep the inside of the lid free from the tool so we'll get a good fit on there. And that's all there is to it. Now, if you were just trying to protect some young seedlings, you could have just omitted everything, just cut the center out and stapled on tool to the top. Or laid a piece of tool on the top of your lid and just snap the lid on. But I want to keep it on a little bit longer and allow the plants to get a little bit bigger. This thing took me less than 15 minutes. We are done. And now all I have to do is go put it on my tote. And look at that. You got a cover and everything for $5. And of course, my little helper is out there watching to make sure everything is done right. I mean, think about it. You go buy a 10-gallon tote, and you can get bigger, of course, get any one you want. And when you've got the lid, you can make a complete enclosed environment. You can cover that with plastic, and you have your own little greenhouse too. Now here, I decided to plant some plants that I shouldn't have planted. And so I'm going to do a change. This isn't part of the video. If you really want to see it, tell me, and I'll go ahead and put it up. I had these plants that I bought last month, never got them planted. They got chewed up, damaged, and I went ahead and planted them in there. After looking at them for about a day and a half, I decided this isn't the way to go. Now I'm starting some hummingbird lunch in the back. I'm propagating these, by the way, and that's what I'm doing in that little cottage cheese container. Here in this sour cream or cottage cheese container, I started some seeds. I thought they weren't growing until I lifted them up. That's the way I start a lot of my seeds. And I saw the roots, put it back down, and within 2 days, the seeds started to come up. So I decided to go ahead and plant the seedling in there because let me tell you something. That tiny seedling will outgrow those big plants that got abused by not being planted. So for now, I stuck it in there and I'm going to go back and remove the other ones later, put them in another container. But there it is, all ready to go. So now you know what you can do with your lid. Of course, you could just cut them up and make plant labels, but leave your comments. I want to read through them, and I hope it gave you some tips and ideas on how to do things on the cheap. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. And I got to go move those other plants and leave the little one that's going to grow fast and big.